So from this point, we're gonna measure all the way around and draw our 3-inch radius, which will give us the size 10 breast mount. Interesting. Let's see where this hits, where that breast lives inside my body, we know, but also inside these torso blocks now. Were you away on a trip?
Yeah.
How was it?
Oh, it's nice.
Nice. Good. That's what we want to hear.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to remember
It's
to
not
go to me,
so
babe.
cold. It's warm.
Yeah.
Alaska.
Wow.
Oh, you went to
Yeah,
Alaska?
Alaska?
Yeah.
Nice.
One
Ooh,
day.
that's the
Yeah.
time to go. They only go certain times of the year, right? July and August, I think, September. Hey. And so we have a little circle. Now I have one of these little circles for bra making, but I don't have it in the pattern making class. So it's not a big deal. There's what your breast mount from your figure looks like on your torso block. Let's write down here what we've done. We've done 3-inch radius, and that's how we do it from that bust point, okay? So that's critical now as we try to develop a dress that needs to hit certain places on here. It can't come here, it can't come here, it can't like all the crazy things you see. You seen people walking around with these cuckoo lines on here? Makes me crazy. That definitely has to go there. So there's our breast mount. What needs to happen? Here they say square a line from the center front touching the circle. It has to be underneath. It has to be at least 3 inches down from that bust point, okay? So I'm going to measure down from my bust again, just to sort of reinforce that. 3 inches down at the center front. Everybody okay? And I don't want to get it all mixed up. I'm gonna square out here. I could probably go this far. 3 inches down. Okay. Good. Now, that stuff's making me itchy. What happens, let's do it in pencil because it's gonna look messy. I wanna show you something. If I square this right out here, and let's extend it right to the back, and the same thing, front and back. I wanna show you what happens when I sew the side seams together. Okay, I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight with those fuzzies on me. What happens when I bring those two together? I can't bring them together. I gotta separate. You're gonna make this one flare? I don't think that enough flares. It's making me itchy. That's funny, Charles. So when I sew this together, what happens with those lines? What happens? What happens here at the side seam?
Like a point.
I got a problem. Okay, I got a point, okay? And I end up like this, the side seams, not good. What I'm gonna do is fix it by going down 3/4 of an inch. Correct me if I'm wrong. 3/4 of an inch at the side seam. I'm gonna do my back right away before I forget. And then I'm gonna curve it. Now I kind of jumped ahead and forgot about my grain lines, but I'm thinking about them now. So I want to keep it at least to, the other side of that dart, and then I can start turning and making this 90 degrees here. Again, to that side seam and going down 3/4 of an inch. And it fixes the problem. Okay, what's my center front grain gonna be? I'm doing the front first because that's the hardest. That's the one that's got the breast mount. Okay, well, do we have an example? No, they went and did some kooky things in there. We used to have a good example. Then they did the different edition, okay? And that's gonna fix the problem. You can see here, if I do that and I bring things together, then I have a nice fluid flowing line, okay? Sometimes Michael has to wait in the car while I go do something, the sewing machine. I'll be right back. And I did this red dress, and I should have brought it because I had to fix it. It was too wide or something, and I got the point because I didn't do it properly. It was just a quick fix, and that's not the answer. You're always gonna have like this in here, and it's not. It should be nice and flowing, fluid. In fact, we've learned that if we sweep those lines a little bit longer in the back, that has a nice effect on the body. It's actually quite slimming. So we use it in bridal wear, we use it in evening wear, where we can really showcase these kinds of things and exaggerate a little longer in the back, giving little sweeps and things, and giving us that slimmer looking line. Let me put on a grain line. Let's call the front a fold. So what in essence is it that we're going to do here today? We're going to cut this apart. We cut our princess lines apart last week. How did we do those in contrast to what we're going to do today? Last week we cut our pattern this way. Now we're going to cut our pattern across the body. So this is going to be the upper dress and the lower dress. So the upper dress needs its own little grain line. Do we want to keep that on the fold? We don't know yet, so theoretically we should kind of sort of do what's on the bottom. And I'm going to put that on just to remind me, okay? So nothing can happen until I separate these pieces. You've learned that the hard way. You're trying to fold things. You can't do things. You can't move the dart around until we actually cut the paper. It's only paper, people. That's what I tell my hairstylist. Who cares? It's only freaking hair. It grows back. It's not like it's fabric. That doesn't grow back. Okay? Calm down. It's only my hair. If I go on vacation, I'm bored. You'll see what's gonna happen. If I have a few minutes to myself. Not good. So in order for me to separate the pieces, the upper and the lower, what must I have?
The notches.
Thank you. So I got some notches. I can't put it back together. Can I use this? Can I use that? Or can I just use one of these?
The middle one.
No, I'm not gonna use them.
As long as you know you're not gonna get rid of that.
Interesting, but I have some lines here that intersect my new style line, okay? And that's 3 inches down. I have some points of reference there that I can connect things up, and I'm going to start cutting them. Sorry, I gotta put some more info here, because now I have the upper and the lower, and I'm gonna come back to that and deal with those darts and whatnot. But we're gonna focus on the top. Can we stylize this a bit? Can we give it a little J-Lo neckline or something there? Where'd it go? It's always the one I want. Thanks. Can we do something here?
Sure.
J-bone. Down to your belly button.
Took you a minute. That's okay. Where am I going? To the bust? How far down should I go? Let's keep it simple for you guys because you have to do it in half scale, remember? Okay, so any V neckline is not straight lines, is always curved lines. This is going to look like a V on the body, okay? If you wanted to come here, let me show. Come here, little body. Look what happens when I put the ruler, which is straight, on the body. Up here, what is happening? It curves, okay? So in order for it to look straight, we have to curve it, okay? Remember that. Okay, so I'm going to the bust line for your reference there. And anything else I want to do to this thing? I say we cut it apart, start getting to the technical business. So I can cut across my style line. I've now created my upper dress and my lower dress. Just put this aside. Now, so if we look at the picture, there's no honking dart there. What am I going to do with that dart? I'll show you. I want to get rid of it. I don't see any of these dresses. I can't have the style line and a bunch of darts. It just doesn't happen, okay, people? It's there to replace or to absorb the style lines. Look what happens. See this dart, how big it is? This big, this wide. Watch. In a minute, what happens. Isn't that interesting? That's the result. Does it make sense to everybody? Nobody's upset with that? Nobody cares about that? Why? That's why, because nobody knows. Why? It's just the distance, people. If I was up here, that would be the same amount. The dart never changes. The amount of that dart is always the same because this is much longer up here. It looked bigger, it grows. Okay, when I talk to you, look at the sky.
Oh, that's pretty.
That's beautiful. So finally we get a break. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, of course, and then it's going to snow. Okay. All righty. So they talk about in the book a little bit of contouring. Contouring we've discussed before. We've touched on it. When I look at my block, what's happening to my block is that I have straight lines. Okay, so from the bust point on your block, you saw them, they were all straight. Oh, you gotta turn here. What's the real body though? What's happening?
Gap.
It's not a straight line. You see the gap? Yes?
Yes.
I'm doing yoga again today twice. You see that there is hollows. So we're going to take our game up a notch or two. We're going to up our game and start to refine our patterns a little bit. Start taking tiny little pinches to bring these in and start to follow more closely the actual body shape. Okay, and especially girls with bigger busts, they're going to have more contour, okay? Bigger busts. What about above the bust? Do we contour there? Is that a straight line from here to here? Not really. But let's focus on this one. And all my little contouring pinches, I call them, will actually be a pinch. And a pinch measures 3/8 of an inch. So where do I need to put that contour? At exactly this 3-inch location from here to here, right? It was a straight line. And then right here is the hollow. Okay, so right here on either side of this dart, I'm going to take an additional 3/8 of an inch off this side, an additional 3/8 of an inch on that side. I'm just trying to decide what color I should do it. Red? For my contouring pinch. It's funny, if you see some sort of older, more primitive garments, you will see that they didn't have princess lines, or they didn't know about contouring. So when they try to make things to shape around the breast mound, they end up with tiny little pinch, little darts. I've seen, the sari tops, the little shells they wear underneath, and then they put the sari on top. I saw one, and it was like this. It made a little sort of cone shape with 9 little darts all the way around to fit that. Or we could have done this. Obviously, a man made that pattern because he doesn't understand the female form. So I'm taking off 3/8 of an inch, just moving on either side of my dart here. Because in some countries, women are not allowed to do pattern making. I just heard that in Saudi Arabia, women are starting to drive.
Yeah.
Finally.
Can you imagine in 2017? Wow. 3/8 of an inch here. And they had travel bans there too? Egypt had, or somebody? Here's your French curve, your friend. That goes in here. This dot represents the breast mound, and boom, on this side, it gives me that perfect contoured shape. Come see. I'm not changing the bust measurement. I'm not changing the waist measure. I'm not changing the hip. I'm not changing the size. It's what's in between that I want to bring to shape around the body a little better. And if J-Lo's dress didn't have contouring in it, it would have never stayed up. Gravity, it just defies gravity. If it's low in the front, we've had this conversation, low in the back, what happens? It falls off. That's all. It's very simple, nothing holding it on to the body, okay? So that's when they invented body tape. So I'm not touching my bust, I'm not changing that. And here's my beautiful French curve, giving me that appropriate shape. And that's how that's used, and that's how it's designed. Now I'm drawing over some of my information there. Did I do that right? Yeah. So I could see the profile. That looks more like the profile of a bust, coming in and softening and returning. It's going to go back to the original waist. Okay, so let me verify this. If I put this together, let's see, that's my stitching line. Any pins in there? Stragglers? Oh, of course. Come on. It doesn't matter.
Right there. You wanna
Yeah, there
grab
was
it up?
1,000 on that one, remember? We were trying
Wait,
not
wait, those
to...
are for homework.
Huh?
Those are, just be careful, those are draping.
No, we're just taking a pin. We're not gonna, oh, I see.
Do not remove. I didn't like
We
lots.
don't wanna remove that.
A student took out mine, that's why. They needed pins and they undid mine.
So I'm gonna show you, if I were to stitch this together, what would happen? What the outcome, the result of my contouring is. And so, I didn't want to do contouring either when I was a young'un. And so it's only 3/8, who cares? But once I made the garment, then it was too late. I couldn't fix it. I had all these gapes and crazy things, and it was already cut. This must be thought through in the pattern making stages. So look at what's happening here. So I have to add some paper there because I end up short because of that angle that I've just created. See me short in there? What happened to my style line again? Messed up. I need to fill in here a little bit, okay? So we're gonna add some paper and lengthen at those little dart locations. And yeah, see, this is wrong. This is where they typically go. I've never seen a princess line, a French dart. No. I got to lengthen though. I'm going to patch on a bit. Great. And I have to add seam allowances here too, right? All right.
Right.
Not really. A little bit, just barely enough. And I need seam allowance. I'm going to scooch it down. Okay, but there should be paper there. And how much do I need to lengthen? What's your call? How am I going to know? What am I trying to do exactly? I know I'm short. This kind of goes up now.
Should try to level it.
You get close. I'm trying to make it 90 degrees to this line. So here it goes. I think it's going to be about 3/8 of an inch to make it 90 degrees. Boom. You think I've done this before? So my advice now, when you pick different fabrics and different things, more is better than less. And I'm coming to this side, and I'm going to add a little bit of length there. So here I go. Here, at this point, I went down 3/8 of an inch. So all you have to remember today is 3/8 of an inch. And this is 3/8 on this side. This is 3/8 on this side. What's the total?
3/8 plus 3/8.
It's 3/4 of an inch. I love my little mathematicians. Oh, yeah, I know. That's why we all take fashion, because we stink at math. We stink at math. But that's the message today. 3/8 here. We went down 3/8, and actually this move was the total of the 3/8, which is 3/4. So it's not difficult to remember. I want to extend this down, and then I need to blend these back. So bear with me. I know maybe some of the pieces, some of the things are not adding up quite yet. Let me smooth that. And you think somebody in the factories is sitting there doing all this contouring and all that stuff? I doubt it. And so I got another phone call. I get all those phone calls all the time. People looking for pattern makers. And I don't want to do it anymore. You guys gotta step up. I'm going to extend that to meet that. Flip it over. Now, this is technical. This is the pattern. How are we going to sew this thing? How's that going to appear on my garment? How do I sew this thing? Looks like a dart right now, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so what do we know about darts that go towards the bust? Say there is, and that's okay. Do I have any? Usually, and my bust is not that big, so, and I only work, a certain size or whatever. Anyway, what I'll do is I'll smooth this and make it a little bit of ease, spread it out a little bit and turn it into ease. But let's leave it as a dart for today because it gives us a chance to refresh our memory that all bust darts must be what? Shortened by 1 inch. We haven't got all night, people. Right? So, but this one now is facing in a different direction. I don't think you've seen a bust dart that faces down. We did some around here, and we did the 1 inch. We shortened the procedure, and so here, in fact, has to be shortened. We can't have that point coming right to the bust point. I mucked up my system here. Here's my bust point. So in fact, I have to redraw those shapes for that little bust dart. And I'm looking for yet another color, which is green. So that's my new dart legs. Now remember, we had to redraw the dart legs? Say yes.
Yes.
Shortening. And so how are we going to sew it again? Did we decide that? It's a beautiful thing. This thing is a beautiful thing. Okay, that's better. So they meet at the original. I'm not changing the size. I'm just shortening that dart. Let's put you a little arrow here to remind you that we need to move that down 1 inch, minimum, okay? In fact, on a lot of people, it's more like 2 inches. Who showed me one that came up here somewhere? Who was showing me that the darts are in the wrong place? Who did I see? Huh, it's a good thing I can't remember.
I came a couple of days ago with a dress and I had one dart.
Aha! It was you, yeah. And you had some issues around that, right?
Yeah.
Are you,
But
something
it
was.
wasn't obvious. Well, okay, I made it, it was just a straight A-line dress, but I decided I wanted to contour it a bit. So I was by myself, so I did pinning in
And
the
then you
mirror
kept
by
going,
myself.
kept going.
And I sewed it, and then I saw that one dart was here, but one was like over here.